Hello everybody, we are in my beauty room, but we are in my beauty room at a different angle. We're in here filming vlog style. My brain completely went beep and blanked out. But we're filming in here vlog style. So today is a girl talk video. We did part 1 of this. If you haven't seen it, it's super juicy, really interesting. Be sure and check it out. I'll be sure and link it down below if you want to check out part 1, and I'll also pop it in a card where it'll pop up eventually in this video. It's basically a video where you guys ask me questions anonymously, and they have to do with being a female. And we're gonna open up and normalize talking more about being a girl and all the things that come with that. So that's what we'll do today. But I figured I have no makeup on today, and I figured like while I'm in the beauty room, while I talk, I'll glam. I like doing these videos talking and Q&As without doing anything else, because I'll tell you, for a person who is very ADD, it's very hard for me to concentrate and like be glamming and like explain me glamming and explain like a full thought for answering a question or giving advice. So I may not talk much about like the makeup part, but I'll still get ready. But if I'm not explaining every little thing, I'll just link the products I use down below, because I'm trying to focus on the questions. But I have a lot of really good, juicy questions. Thank you guys for asking, by the way. I always appreciate you guys contributing, helping me out, and being a part of the video. So if you're excited about this video, be sure and hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and jump right in. By the way, my t-shirt is from, you guessed it, Nudie Patootie, my boutique. So I'll link it down below as well if you guys are interested. It also comes in like this emerald green, but my green one was dirty, and that's really the one I wanted to wear today, but I really love the beige. You know I love the beige. Okay, first question. Do you sweat a lot from your armpits? And does it make your confidence go down? And to answer your question, yes, I do. So let me put on some makeup, but this is my sunscreen, by the way. This one's like really strong, but there's a lot of other ones. This one's like empty. I have to get it going. Okay, so I do sweat a lot from my armpits, and I do because I don't use an antiperspirant, because I use native deodorant, and it helps with like the odor, but it does not block you from sweating. I don't want to not sweat from my armpits because it's very unnatural. And I don't care, like my underarm sweats, I will literally be like this. I'll literally be like, I have a sweaty underpit, sorry. I'll lift my arms like this, let them air out. I'll literally sit here at lunch like this. If it's sweaty, I know a lot of people that use antiperspirants and they still sweat a lot in their underarms. I think we really have to work on normalizing that more so than canceling out the sweat, because it's a natural thing. Some people sweat more than others. I'll say I do a lot of cardio when I work out, so I sweat, but in general, especially in the summer when it's like 100 degrees in LA, if you live in a humid area, your sweat's gonna be on you more. When you live in a dry area, the what do you call it? The environment absorbs it, some of the moisture, but yeah, I still sweat. And I just don't recommend you guys using antiperspirants unless you have like a very particular and you're stuck on it. But my advice is to not use them. I think it's super unnatural to not sweat from your pits and from other places, your under boobs and all these different places that we sweat. I think it's just, honestly, instead of like constantly trying to hide it, just be like, oh my God, I quit using antiperspirants, so girl's a little sweaty, and just own it, like own it. And I think the more we normalize it, the better off we'll be. I just went on a 5-minute rant on sweating. Great. I'm gonna add a little bit of Lash Vitamin C Moisture. Just got out of a 5-year relationship, toxic relationship. Any tips for moving on and dating again? One, moving on, I think the best thing to do, especially like if you're really just like, I am outsies, is to just like, I know when you get out of relationships, the first thing you want to do is like stalk every move and like stay in contact and just like stalk and see what they're doing. Not because you want to get back together, but it's just like you're hurt and you just want to keep up with this person that you've been with for so long and all of that. But I think we both know the best thing to do is to cut it off at all angles. If you really want to get over someone, like you're really trying to let it go, one, keep yourself busy. Do not just sit around, because what you're gonna do, you're gonna be thinking about that relationship and that person. Two, number one is keep yourself busy. That's like agenda number one, because you wouldn't even have time to start stalking that person. But number two, I would say is, and this is something I do in my world, like if something's bothering me or if someone is bothering me, but I don't necessarily have like beef with them, I mute them on social media. And it's not because I don't love them and want to support them, but it's because they are disrupting my peace and my energy in my life. It's not okay. because I only have one life and it's very short, and I hope to live every day as peaceful as I possibly can. So if that means I have to mute people, even people that I love, maybe a little toxic family member. I don't have a toxic family member muted, but just anything like that on social media is definitely a good step in the right direction. And to me, I feel like that is a sign of self-love and taking care of yourself and taking care of your mental health. And that way it's not like you block the person, but if it's like an ex and you need to block them, baby, block them. But get them out of your life, stay very busy, and make sure you're okay and moving on and feeling good again before you start dating. But I know some people like to kind of have a fling to help them get over someone. And you know, I am not like a psychiatrist, like I don't know all the rules in therapy and dating, but like I don't judge you for doing that. Like if that works, it works. You know, if you're like, you know what, I wanna be me and kind of do me for a little bit, I think that's a really wise decision because you allow yourself to heal. And I think like you need to be comfortable being alone by yourself before you're with someone else. And I think you need to love yourself before you love someone else. And all those things will lead to a happier relationship the next time you're in one. So I'm just gonna use my beauty sponge, give it a little spritz. We're gonna blend this out. Also, you know, I hear about breakups all the time and I haven't been in a breakup for a really long time, but I did have like a pretty nasty breakup before in the past, and the best thing I ever did was cut it off at all angles. Do you pee in the shower? Absolutely. Come on. Most of the time, like when the water starts running in the shower, I automatically am like, by the way, today's makeup is the makeup I do pretty much every day. So you're gonna experience that with me. Sorry if it's a little redundant. I am a shower peer. Oh my God, I'm a shower peer. Do you ever regret committing to tie at such a young age? It's like quite the opposite. I'm actually like really grateful I found him at such a long age. I've like been through heartbreaks myself. They're very not fun, as we just discussed. I've watched so many friends go through so many heartbreaks and have trouble finding the one and being lonely, and like dating is a living hell. I can't imagine me having to date. Jesus Christ, I'll be single forever. I can't imagine. So honestly, it's not regret. It's like gratefulness that I did find him at a young age, because it hasn't been, you know, I would regret it if I had wasted, you know, 13 years with him in a toxic relationship, but it's never been that. It's been a great relationship for 13 years. So it's just honestly been constant gratefulness because he's great. Was it weird to have sex when Aaron came to live with you? Actually, so strange. I got so many questions about our sex life when Aaron moved in with me. I'm like, did you guys think we were just like all over our house like 24/7? Like, what? Did we give that impression that we're just like maniacs, just like, wow? But also Aaron's like, guys, she's like a teenager. She's not like a baby. She's not like, you know, with me all the time. Like, she does her own thing. She has her own life. Her bedroom is not like in my bedroom. She doesn't sleep with us. Like, she's like her own person. So no, not at all. It didn't change at all. If we want to have sex, we have sex. That's just what it is. Peeing with tampons. So I don't love tampons. I'll wear them for convenience of not having to worry about anything for a little while. But every time I pee with a tampon, I feel like sometimes it gets like pushed out halfway. So I'll just go ahead and like pull it out and put a new one in. Probably need to anyways. They're kind of a nuisance. But yeah, you can totally pee with a tampon in, by the way. You don't have to change it every time you pee. Do you feel like you've changed as a person since becoming YouTube famous? Absolutely, and thank God. Change is not always bad, guys. Change is like, actually we should be changing throughout our lives. We should be growing, learning, experiencing, changing. I think I've changed like 10 times for the better. I actually think like I was the biggest idiot on earth when I started my channel. Maybe not that stupid, because like I put a lot of work in, I tried really hard on my channel, but I was an idiot. And now I'm just a little bit of an idiot, not like a full idiot. So things are better. Change is good. Shaving your pussy. How to reduce ingrowns. We talked a little bit about this last time, but my recommendation to you is to shave with the grain. If you're shaving against the grain, you're probably gonna get some ingrown hairs. Just kind of comes with that territory. It's like super coarse hair, so if you just like cut it off, it's gonna have a hard time piercing to the skin, and then it gets ingrown. I shave with the grain, and it's like super smooth, but Yeah, if you like rubbed it against, it would feel maybe just a little pokey, but it's definitely worth not getting any ingrowns because I don't get any ingrowns when I do that. So I recommend giving that a go. I know you guys want to be smooth and bald like a baby seal, but it's so worth not having all the ingrown hair bumps. Question, do you sleep with tampons or pads? What's a better option? I think if you're sleeping and a pad doesn't get on your nerves, use a pad so something's not inside of you. But it's okay to sleep in tampons. My period's lighter because I take birth control, so I sleep with a panty liner because I don't need a full pad because God love the birth control I'm taking is really just made my periods so light, but you can. But just make sure as soon as you get up in the morning, you're changing that and you have a fresh one in right when you go to bed. How to practice self-love and confidence. Ooh, you guys might hate the answer I have for this one, but I'm gonna say it anyways because this video is all about being honest and just having a really honest conversation. So self-love, I think self-love gets confused sometimes in getting your nails done and a pedicure and, you know, go and buying a $200 outfit. To me, I don't really recognize that as self-love. I also read a lot of self-help books. I enjoy them genuinely, and I feel like I get a lot of insight from them. And I feel like self-love is doing all the hard stuff you don't want to do. That's like the real self-love. And people may disagree with me, and that's okay. We all like have a different version of things in our head and how things should be. But to me, self-love is saying no when you really don't have the time to do something. Self-love is cutting off a toxic ex because you love yourself too much to be miserable in your life. Self-love is quitting a job that doesn't serve you and really going for it, and maybe even starting your own business or starting your own career, taking a big chance. That's loving yourself. It's giving yourself hope for a better future. Self-love is studying all night. Self-love is just taking care of yourself, doing what you have to do mentally. Self-love is muting people that don't bring you peace on social media. That is self-love. You're trying to protect your energy. Self-love is all the things that suck. Self-love is having a conversation with a family member that you hate and have held so much anger inside of you towards, or a human being that you have. It's like ending that hatred. Self-love is forgiving people you don't want to forgive. Self-love is forgetting all people have done to you so you can move on with a happy future. Those things to me are self-love. Self-love is not materialistic things, but you know, people will be like, well, it's both. But I mean, I think like whenever you get like materialistic things like new clothes and getting your nails done, it's temporary self-love. But permanent, long-lasting, futuristic self-love is doing the hard stuff. So I recommend doing it. So that's my version of self-love. Also, I think whenever you do those things to love and protect yourself, you will in turn have more confidence because the things going on in your life are going to be better in the future. It may be hard doing all the hard things, but once you get past it and you did it, your future is going to be better. You're going to have a happier social life, happier at home life, and it does contribute to confidence. All right, next question. We're moving on to brows. I'm using the Brow Freeze. How do you disguise hard nips in clothing? So if you want to, they make, it's like Hollywood something, I don't know, but if you type them in, silicone nipple covers, they're quite a bit thicker than like the little paper stickers, and they'll really conceal, like your nipple is not gonna show no matter what, because it's like a little silicone, it looks like a little eye patch or something. They work and they'll cover it. And the only time I wear those if I'm wearing a top where my nipple might slip out. Like if it's like real low and if I'm going out and I'm gonna be moving a lot or like an event, I'll wear one of those because I don't wanna have a nip slip. But let me be honest with you, as far as like the nipple just showing through, I truly, and this is just a me thing, I don't care. Like I have nipples and I don't care if they poke through, so what? You can also, of course, wear a bra with a little padding in it, but like if you're wearing something that you can't wear a bra with, I recommend just getting the silicone nipple covers, and they just stick on and they're so easy, and they like come in nude so you can't even tell. I have a few of them, and I'll like I said, I'll just wear them if I think I'm gonna have a nip slip. Next question, is big blood clots in a period normal? So I am not a gyno. But I have had bigger clots in my period blood before, and it did scare me, and I did ask my gyno and she was like, it's pretty normal. So for me, I have had them, yes, totally. You guys can comment down below with that too, but I do recommend you talk to your gyno, you talk to your doctor, and you mention it. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. They hear the craziest shit. Dude, when I worked at the dermatologist, we deal with a lot of STDs and stuff. And I'm sure like the patient thought we were coming in the room being like, ooh, we literally couldn't care less. What I know is you're here, you're this patient, and I have to do X, Y, and Z for you. That's all I know. I don't think any more into it. Next question, do you ever get crazy period poops? What do you do to help the issue during your period? Okay, let me tell y'all something about period poop. I, like everyone else, I feel, have always had some issues with pooping and stomach problems. And I thought that it was just during my period, just me alone, my stomach would act up and I'd be like, oh, my period's coming, I have an upset stomach, blah, 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 blah. But through social media and time, I learned that period poop is a real thing. And a lot of people get an upset stomach, and they said it's like your hormones can cause just like an upset stomach. And I get period poops almost every period. And it's a mess, to be honest with you. It's quite the scene down there. But I don't do anything to help it, because after day one, this is crazy, but I feel like my body like clears out everything. Like there's no more poop in me after that day, because I'll poop like 4 times, like tons of poop in one day. And then I feel like it's like a clean out for my body. So I'll just take the upset stomach and the period poop. I don't try to stop it up, if that makes sense, because I feel like I'm like detoxing my body. My body wants to get the poop out of me. I'm like, all right, let's do this thing, girl. But yeah, I get major period poops and I don't do anything about it. So sorry if I'm unhelpful there, but just know you're not alone. This is real. Have you ever had anal? People telling me to try it, but I'm scared. Okay, so here's the thing. When I was a teenager and like the anal talk came up, I was like, no one does that. Y'all are crazy. I just told Erin recently that people do anal and she was shocked. All my friends tell me I'm missing out, and I'm like, all right, well, let me tell you something. I feel like I got a tight butthole. Yeah, a lot of people do anal and it's nothing to feel weird about. If you're not ready for it, you don't want to do it, don't do it. Okay guys, I'm gonna spritz my face. This is my favorite setting spray. It's like half empty, but it's so good. It's like a dewy one, the Glow Cocoa Mist. It's really nice. I love the smell of it. The smell is so faint. How do you overcome a breakup that you initiated? So I had initiated a bad breakup, and it's way harder when you initiate it. And no one talks about this, but it's harder when you initiate it because, well, at least for me, I was always like, did I like make a mistake? And then if someone broke up with me, I'd be like, oh, well, that's on them. They didn't want to be with me, so whatever. But if I broke up with someone, I'm like, oh no, I'm making a mistake. And the truth is I never made mistakes at all. I'm so happy I broke up with everybody that I broke up with. It's a little harder mentally whenever you initiate it, I feel. Maybe not. I mean, it could be harder both ways, but I feel like it's like a little different scenario. At least for me, I was like always going back and forth, like if I made a mistake, if I shouldn't have broke up with this person, da, da, da. You know what's funny about relationships? It's like, you're all like ready to break up with someone, but as soon as you miss them, you forget about all the things they do and that you hated about them. You suddenly remember every good time you ever had, and that's all you think about. But when you break up, but then whenever you're together, you're like, oh my God, this person's terrible. Stick to your guts. Don't let your brain play tricks on you, because it will definitely do that, and just try to remind you of all the best times you ever had with that person. Remember why you broke up with them. Remember how they made you feel. Remember that. All right guys, I'm curling my lashes, and I warm my lash curler up like very mildly, but I keep this hairdryer plugged up by my desk and I just warm it up and give them a little curl. And I'm gonna be using one of my favorite mascaras, the Shein one. It's the only one that makes my lashes like stay standing up straight. I have a lot that I like, but this one I would say is like one of my faves for sure. It's $5. I gotta buy more. I bought like 3 tubes, but me and Erin share it, so we go through it pretty fast. Do you want to have children with Ty? Yes and no. Yes and no. Depends on the day of the week. Sometimes if you ask me, I'm like, yeah, we're definitely having kids. We're gonna have kids soon. Like, it's happening. And then sometimes if you ask me, I'm like, probably not gonna have kids actually. So I don't know. I'm probably running out of time, but that's okay. I think everyone panics all the time about kids. It's just like, especially for girls, Jesus Christ, I feel like it's like, we're all put on like this timeline. It's like, make a decision. I don't mind if you guys ask me. You can ask me about it. I know, like I asked you to ask me questions, but I'm talking about like your friends and family members. You never know what they're going through or how they feel about it. It could like really hurt them every time they get asked. So Always think about that, but yeah, you guys are totally safe to ask me, especially in this setting. That's what this is for. How to find cute clothes that suit your body type. Okay, so for me, I went through some experiences with clothing. So I have like a smaller frame, I would say, but so I would like honestly wear anything that was a size small. Like I never really considered well, that doesn't actually look good on you or flatter you. So with my body type, I have a very short torso. It's so short that my tits sometimes literally are like this far from my belly button. Like there's no torso. So I wear a lot of cropped items because as you see, it makes it like I have a little bit of a longer torso. And high-waisted, I love high-waisted stuff, but to be honest with you, it just gives me a shorter torso, but I still wear high-waisted stuff. But it's like, it doesn't matter what size you are, we all are shaped differently. And what I did is started following people on YouTube and like fashion people that have a pretty decent sized boob, but a very short torso. And I started watching how they style stuff. And it really helped me to start styling myself way better and dressing myself in more flattering outfits. How do you work through rough patches in your marriage? What's the best advice? I think communication is, like, I know a lot of people get angry, and I get it. Like, you get angry, you get upset, you don't even want to talk, you just want that person to vanish. But if you do plan on being with your spouse for a long time or forever, and you hope to be with them forever, I say communication and talking out. And instead of saying, you do this, this, and this, saying you do this, and it makes me feel this way, but I understand that I do things that get on your nerves too. Like, have a conversation, not attacking, but a conversation that's coming from both parts. And that way it comes from a little bit of love, and like it shows that you're like trying to be understanding, but you're also having an issue and it's hurting you. And if a person doesn't want to acknowledge what they're doing or change in any way, well then that's a bigger conversation. But it's like, just go ahead and hashing it out, but don't come from a place of attack, even though you may be pissed as fuck, like you may be so mad, but try to like, and then like come from a place of like, listen, I'm sorry I popped off, but when you do this, it makes me feel like this and it really upsets me. And I understand you're doing it because of X, Y, and Z, but you know, it's like all about tone. It's all about how you approach a situation. Things like that really matter. And the point is to not just end something, but actually resolve it and see what the real issue is there. So I feel like communication is like the word that's key, but there's like so many important ways of how you're communicating. How many days a week is sex normal for married couples? You know, it really depends on the relationship. Literally, I was reading in, what's her name? Rachel, she wrote the book, Girl Stop Apologizing. No, what was the first book? Can't remember if that's the book I wrote. She's written so many, I just can't remember if that's the one, but she talks about her and her husband have sex like every day, all the time. They have the best sex life. They sex. And I'm like, okay. It was in like no time later, she's like divorcing her husband. And like, I don't know her personal business, and I don't know like why they got divorced or like what happened, so I can't assume anything here. But all I can tell you is just because you're having a lot of sex doesn't mean your relationship is wonderful. And just because you're not having sex 24/7 doesn't mean your relationship is terrible. And that is a prime example of what I was talking about. Because I was reading the book, I'm like, well, just because you have sex all the time doesn't make me think you have a great relationship. And maybe that wasn't her point in telling us that. And then I saw she's getting divorced, and I was like, this is my point. But I'm not encouraging you not to have sex. Have sex, it's fun. Have sex, have a good time. It just depends on the relationship. I don't think that there is a certain amount. But I think if you're not having sex a lot, I think it is something to explore with your partner and communicate within your partner and figure out ways to spice things up and figure out what you like. Maybe you guys are, the way you're having sex, you're not enjoying it. Maybe you're too stressed and you need to figure out ways to woosah so you'll be more into it. But I don't think there's like a number of days a week that you should be having sex or your relationship is not intimate enough. You know what I mean? Like, we put so much pressure on ourselves and it's ridiculous. Can we talk about how your first time hurts? I feel like movies make it magical. They do. It's so stupid. Hollywood makes everything magical. It's all a lie. Your first time's pretty miserable. And you're like, wow, is this what sex is gonna be like for the rest of my life? Because if so, I'm good. I mean, maybe some of you out there are like, not me, I love my first time. That's good, but not used to it down there, and you're probably gonna be pretty tense because you're scared to death, which makes it worse. And your body's just not used to it, which makes it worse. So it's just like not a great experience your first time. But yeah, let's let's talk about it. I mean, hello, your first time's terrible. And then after that, you learn and you keep, it's like you just get better at it the more you do it. It's like with anything, and it becomes fun. And if it's not fun, you need to figure out what makes it fun, because it should be fun and it should feel good. All right guys, this is my glam. Not too crazy, super light. This is pretty much the glam I wear every day. It's pretty quick when I'm not doing a Q&A. I know I like drug it out and this video is gonna be long, but thank you guys for contributing. Thank you for asking questions. I hope this was helpful. I wanna normalize, you know, period poops, armpit sweat, sex, not having sex 24/7. If you do have sex 24/7, great, have a good time with it. Like all these different things I wanna talk about more. Literally my armpit is sweating right now, by the way. Like literally it's wet right here. I just hope to open up conversations to help educate, to help give you guys confidence, give you that boost you may need. With that being said, that's it for this video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here and tuning in and watching. Be sure and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And let me know if you want a part 3. You know, we can always do part 3 and keep it going. Thank you guys for contributing to the video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.